Dolphins fans, what is going on? It is Ben Morgan of the Fins Up Network. We kicked off the day with a video, legal tampering period started on Monday. And we kicked off the day kind of in a doom and gloom mode. We made a video about how we lost Christian Wilkins and Ben Ginkel and Hunt and Brandon Jones. And it was like, man, what are we doing? We're losing pieces left and right. We got a lot of holes to fill, but just got to be patient every once in a while. Free agency is a little bit of a marathon sometimes. We're nowhere near the end of what this run is going to be. So yeah, we got a couple of answers at least Monday afternoon into the evening as well a little bit. We're going to jump into all of those signings, but before I do jump into those, got to hear from you. Your thoughts on today's signing so far from Monday's portion of legal tampering anyways. Drop them in the comments. And what do you want to see next? What do you got over the next couple of days? Drop your players in the comments. We hit the linebacker position today. We hit it a couple of times, actually, Dolphins fans. We were all wondering, what are we going to do? Jerome Baker got let go. We got David Long. We don't really have a lot going on after that. We basically struck out on Channing Tindall. We're not counting on him for significant stamps, most likely in 2024. Well, here's one of your answers. Dolphins signing linebacker Jordyn Brooks to a 3-year, $30 million deal. Jordyn Brooks is 26 years old. He's a former first-round pick of the Seattle Seahawks, where he spent his first 4 years in the league. He actually had over 100 tackles in each of the last 3 seasons, and he had a career high 184 in 2021, which I believe is like the second most of all time. So yeah, got yourselves a tackling machine there. And I talked about addressing the linebacker position in more ways than one. Actually signed Anthony Walker today as well, which we'll get to here in a minute. We'll give him his own time as well. But Brooks, essentially, in my opinion, he's your Jerome Baker replacement. I looked into what PFF was grading him over the last couple of years. They were a little tough on him in his pass coverage grade. However, I have seen numerous other people out there that do like their own film study as well. People that I trust as well, been watching them over the last couple of years. You say, you know what? Jordyn Brooks is actually pretty damn good. He's actually pretty good in the pass coverage department. So don't have many worries there. So you're likely looking at the linebacker corps of David Long being the inside guy, being your run stuffer, and then Jordyn Brooks being your other guy on the inside as well. And not only is he a tackling machine, but like I said, he's also a coverage linebacker as well. So we've been wanting one of these for a long, long time, Miami Dolphins fan, and hopefully Jordyn Brooks is your answer. Like I said, former first-round guy, a guy that I really liked in the draft process. Obviously, we didn't get him then, but we've got our chance right now. We'll get to the other linebacker here in a minute, but Dolphins fans, we addressed the offensive line. And it might not be a top-tier guy that everyone is just doing backflips over, but at the end of the day, and we'll talk about this more here, Aaron Brewer is actually probably a good fit at center on this Miami Dolphins team. And like I said, we'll talk about that because Connor Williams, in a sense, was kind of one of those lighter centers as well, the guy that you could help with, give a little help with in his pass protection, because that's what we're going to need to do with Aaron Brewer. He's not necessarily going to be a stand-up center that's going to be able to give pushback against a lot of the bigger interior defensive linemen in this league. That's not what he is. However, he's got the athleticism going for him. He's on the lighter side, like I said. He can struggle in pass protection a little bit, but he has got that quickness and that athleticism where in our scheme, our running scheme, the zone blocking scheme, he gets out and he gets to a next level that not a lot of centers in this league can do. So maybe he's not your prototypical center that's going to work for every single team, but the way that we run our offense, the way that we want to get our linemen out to that next level to block, Aaron Brewer is a guy that we can rely on for that. And not only did he just play center during his time with the Titans as well, he's played both guard spots. There's a little bit of position versatility in that sense. Not 100% sure if or how this would impact the potential idea of signing Connor Williams later in free agency, later this offseason. We'll keep our eye on that. But I was told that Miami is still interested in Jackson Powers-Johnson if he's on the board at number 21. Because you keep a couple of things in mind. We talked about the position versatility. Aaron Brewer can play center. He can play left guard. He can play right guard. Well, guess what? Jackson Powers-Johnson basically just settled in at center at the end of his career at Oregon. So he's got the position versatility. He's got the experience playing guard as well. So don't rule that out. Don't rule out the Dolphins taking an offensive lineman early in the draft as well. But I talked about not wanting to go into the draft saying you absolutely need to take an offensive lineman at number 21. Well, guess what? It's signings like this, which, like I said, He's not the center that every team covets, but he's a center that can be very functional, very productive in our style of offense. So I actually really don't mind this signing. I like it, and I like that we got a new body in at center. We talked about getting back to the position of linebacker, and that's where Anthony Walker comes in. 28 years old as well, a former fifth-round pick of the Indianapolis Colts, spent his first 4 years with the Colts, last 3 with the Cleveland Browns. The negative that you're going to see about Anthony Walker is the negative that none of us want to hear about, and it's a history of injuries. Played 13 games in 2021, 3 in 2022, 12 in 2023. So yeah, injury history is a bit of a concern for him. But we just talked about the signing of Brooks as well, and you already got David Long. We need depth. We need depth at this position. We've needed depth at this position for a while. When you strike out on a guy like Channing Tindall, Duke Riley's probably run his course with the Dolphins. I think we saw enough of that experiment and experience last year. So now you bring in this kind of guy as that depth piece. So there's nothing wrong with that. You actually run into some Cleveland Browns fans, some beat writers that say, when this guy was healthy, when he was on the field, he was a pretty good linebacker. He had a career high 124 tackles in 2019. The problem was keeping him on the field. That's going to be an issue, and that's kind of our run of not selecting players, but signing players in free agency that have a history of injuries. And yeah, unfortunately, we're continuing down that path. But at the right cost, at the right position, he's a depth piece. You can't be too upset about it. He's more of a 2-down linebacker. He has just 3 career interceptions, just 4.5 career sacks. But like I said, you're likely looking at a reserve linebacker that can fill in, get some meaningful snaps here and there. And then, like I said, hopefully he stays healthy in the process. Like I said, I personally see this as more of a depth signing than anything. But we need guys. And that's the type of free agents that we're going to have at this point in time, which is highlighted by the moves that we made earlier in the day I should say the non-moves we made earlier in the day by letting certain guys walk and test free agency. And obviously they got the bag elsewhere. So that is what I have got for Monday, Miami Dolphins fans. Like I said, we'll be doing recaps at the end of every day, whenever signings come in, whenever I get the time to be able to come in and produce these videos. So get subscribed if you haven't done so already. Like I said, leave a comment. What's next? What players do you want to see the Dolphins sign? What are your thoughts on today's tampering signings as well? Go ahead, drop those in the comments. Curious to see what you guys would like to see here moving forward. But that is what I've got for today, Miami Dolphins fans. And until next time, fins up.